welcome to the Contrarians. I'm Peter Van Onselen. Well, according to Kevin Rudd's colleagues, he is a buffoon. He's a fool. He's an idiot. He's somebody who basically can't run a corner store, much less a country. That's what you'd be led to believe if you listen to Wayne Swan, who also says he doesn't have Labor values. He was dysfunctional. The Prime Minister says that he was chaotic and he couldn't run a government. So there were a litany of other cabinet ministers complaining about how difficult he was to work with and work for, and how dysfunctional the government that they were, this is the important bit, a part of for 2.5 years with Kevin Rudd as Prime Minister. 2.5 years. And we've got a conga line of cabinet ministers that expect us to believe that Kevin Rudd was that dysfunctional. Here's the problem that they've got. If he was that dysfunctional, what were they doing sitting there, saying nothing and putting up with it and pretending to every one of you that this was a good government every time they did a media interview? It's embarrassing, it's pathetic. Why didn't they have the guts to talk to Kevin Rudd, to approach him as individuals, or if they're too gutless to do that, as a collective with strength in numbers? That's the Labor way, isn't it? Why didn't they have the guts to do that? Why was it left to people that are not even in cabinet, people that were not even on the front bench? In the case of Paul Howes, not even in a parliament. Why was it left to these sort of people to have to organise a coup after 2.5 years of cabinet ministers saying nothing and doing nothing? And that included the Treasurer, that included the then Deputy Prime Minister, now Prime Minister, part of the Gang of Four. If Kevin Rudd was really that bad, why were they so pathetic that they did nothing about it for that length of time? Or could it be that he wasn't quite as bad as they're making him out to be now? Could it be that Kevin Rudd actually may have had his problems, and he might have missed some of them, but he perhaps wasn't quite as evil and hopeless as they're now trying to make out? This is not a good look for the Labor Party. These cabinet ministers who didn't have the guts to say something to Kevin Rudd but now do it through the veil of a leadership situation, these cabinet ministers, frankly, should resign. They don't deserve to hold that kind of high office if they don't have the courage to even speak to a Prime Minister about his problems and wait years and years and years before trying to publicly vilify him like they're doing now. It's pathetic. They're a joke. I'm disgusted. Let's see what the panel have got to say about this. Julia Lisa from the Menzies Research Centre, thanks for your company.
Thanks, Peter.
Dr. Greg O'Mahony, thanks for your company.
Hi, Peter.
And Reece Muldoon, noted lefty and mate, apparently, of Kevin Rudd. Thanks for your company.
Apparently, yeah.
What do you reckon?
I think this is a dark night of the soul for the Labor Party, truth be told. It's profoundly unedifying, of course. I think that on a larger scale, I think this is our generation's ALP-DLP split. I mean, we've had Kevin Rudd come out today and talk about the popular vote and democracy, and then we've had Gillard attacking Rudd, and it'll go on and on and on and on and on. It's a very grim time for Labor.
You know, the argument that often gets run by the Rudd opponents in this debate at the moment over the leadership is that you can't go to Kevin Rudd because there are too many senior people that say you can't go. I'm now increasingly of the view that these so-called senior people who act like junior weasels don't deserve to be on the front bench, whether it's Rudd or Gillard. If they're so hopeless that they can't talk to Kevin Rudd, why would Julia Gillard want them there? If she starts to lose her way, we know they're not going to have the guts to approach her.
Well, isn't it, Peter, not just what they did before acting him, but what they've done since? I mean, I think this has been an awful day for Julia Gillard. If she's to be believed, she's part of a government that identified a man after acting him as irrational, unhinged, a hothead who basically needed a room with padded walls. And she said, I've got an idea, let's make him Foreign Minister. Let's put him in a role that involves him representing this country as basically our ambassador to the world, dealing day in, day out with foreign leaders. That is the most embarrassing policy decision. And I think the more she talks about this sort of King Louis XV type figure, the more she completely asks questions about what on earth she's been doing.